Evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming along again, Brad. Good to have you back.
Great. Thanks for having me back. I wasn't sure if I was going to get another invite, but glad.
I suppose I'll start off with saying congrats on the 2,000 subs.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's just
kind
of snuck up on a little bit, but it's kind of nice to see it still growing and new people coming on board, and it's a nice little milestone.
Yeah. And I'll see today you've got a couple of posts up about some giveaways that you're going to be doing.
Yeah, we're going to run a bit of a giveaway, not this weekend, the weekend after. Do a live stream. We're going to do probably 3 giveaways just to give back to everyone that's sort of supported the channel and, being a part of our journey. There's been such a wide range of people that we've, interacted with and been on with and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I think it's just a nice little thing to, tell people, we really appreciate you guys supporting us. So, yeah, hopefully that goes well.
How long's it been now? YouTube?
Pretty much 14 months to the day almost. I think we started it on the 14th or 15th of Feb last year. So, yeah, 14 months.
Awesome. That's good.
Yeah, it's gone quick.
I would say a quick hello to some people in the chat.
Yeah. Got a few in.
At the top, we've got Cara.
Hello.
Jazz from the other room, I'm assuming.
Lounge room.
Tobes.
Oops.
Another Brad.
Here's Flipper.
And Michaela. Hello, everyone.
Good to see you all here.
Georgina.
Hey, Georgina. She was calling some people some mugs in the Instagram chat just before.
Yeah, I did see that.
Bit of a side joke.
All right, let's start with a sort of a general catch-up, I suppose, on all things reselling. I know for myself, sales over the last couple of weeks have been insane. Like I have done more in the last 2 weeks than March total.
Wow.
It's been mental. I've been selling all sorts of random stuff. How about yourself? Has it been busy?
Yeah, we've been busy. We sort of had some really high days and then some pretty average days, like definitely up on what we were. I think this month we're up last month I think we did just over 10 and we're probably projecting about 13, 14 this month. So that's a pretty big jump.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but yeah, random stuff selling, hey, like stuff that just normally doesn't sort of tick out that fast, it's ticking over quickly, and stuff from the death pile and stuff like that. So
see, it seems like everyone's had like a huge bump in sales. Do you think it's going to continue? And if so, you've got any ideas on how we might be able to take advantage of that trend?
That's a really tough question. I'd like to say yes, but I think it just depends on how long it goes for and, what sort of stimulus the government are going to keep putting in, if they are going to keep putting in. And I really think it depends on how long it's going to go. But if people can't go out, then they have to shop somewhere. So might as well be on eBay and other online platforms. So I hope it continues because it'll help a lot of us out and save some money for when it does open up again.
Yeah, it's a bit funny because like my store last year really had its best months in April, May, June, and some of July. Like I sold a lot of jeans and winter clothes and all sport-related stuff, and the sport-related stuff's not there at the moment. Although I did actually sell a Dockers Guernsey today for $75, if you can believe that.
Really?
Yeah. So maybe with the AFL, hinting at maybe season is going to go ahead later this year, we might see more of that come back.
Yeah. No, I think people still want their footy fix, hey? So it's like, if you got the stuff up, it doesn't hurt because, someone might jump on it or stuff like that. I really hope that, it continues. It's so hard to say.
You've got Zach's jumped in as well. I think I saw Drew and Sarah as well. Yep.
And Sarah's here as well.
Yeah.
All-star lineup in the chat. That's awesome. Thanks for coming, guys.
What do you think about delays to shipping? I know I had a guy from a shipment to the States who's been waiting almost 30 days now and still hasn't turned up, and there's no tracking.
Yeah.
There's a technical issue with the tracking itself, and Yeah.
Before we came on, I said that we hadn't had any delays, but we did have one. We had one delayed to go to the US. But luckily, just the day after I contacted him, because it was actually that really expensive Zelda game that, we'll touch on a bit later. But and I was a bit worried. I was like, man, this guy's gonna want his game quick because it's an expensive game. But I contacted him. I said, look, man, there's been some delays in Melbourne. I can see it's in Melbourne. Looks like, it hasn't shipped out yet. So, I'll keep an eye on it and try and keep you in contact. And he was like, yeah, no worries. I completely understand. He's like, I can see you sent it and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, hopefully it all goes well and gets there quick. And the next day it actually moved. So I'm hoping it gets over there quickly. But in terms of delays, yeah, it's going to be interesting going forward, even local ones, if we're going to see some delays on it, or, if we're just going to be able to sort of pot along and not have too many problems. It's going to be an interesting time. What are your thoughts on it?
Oh, I saw a demo today. Had some issues with one of his shipments, and that was a domestic one. Yeah. And even when I jumped on the Australian Post chat, there was 27 people ahead of me in the queue just for online queries. So they're obviously pretty busy at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's a lot of people to be online for that sort of chat as well. So
yeah, so I've submitted my query, and it's going to take at least a couple of days to get back to me, but yeah, hopefully it's an easy resolution. I've got here notes about the Nikki Lauder jacket.
Yeah, Nikki Lauder. Well, she came back, so that was a positive. So I got confirmation probably 4 or 5 days ago that it was authentic, which was the first win. And then I was expecting probably have to wait a couple of weeks for it to actually get here, but it rocked up yesterday, which I was very surprised at. Very quick. So they must have sent it probably straight after they authenticated it and just didn't upload the authentication for a little while. And yeah, got it back and trying to work out where we're going to go next with it. So I'm probably looking at online auction, to be honest. I'm going to do a little bit of a video on it at some point just to put it all together, because it's been sort of all stretched out, I suppose. Yeah. So yeah, I want to do a video on it. But yeah, I can't believe I found that in an op shop for $35. That's insane.
What do you think it's worth?
I really don't know. I'm expecting to get at least $1,000 for it. That's where I think it's gonna. That's the low end of it, I reckon. I've seen some others like Peter Brock ones, similar, and they were asking $2,000 to $3,000. So, who knows? Who knows? Tommy said list it up high. Tommy's in the chat as well, actually. And yeah, Toby did help me out with ID on it, which was awesome. Initially. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna send it to. There's an auction group that do a heap of Motorama stuff. They do a lot of the oil companies and a lot of sign stuff. So I reckon they're probably the place I'll send it. But I'm gonna hold out until probably after all this has gone down, because I just think it needs to be in front of people rather than online. Yeah,
and I was thinking, if you have it listed up high, when sport does start up again, there's going to be people looking for things like that to celebrate it coming back, I think.
Yeah, and it is PSA as well, so it did go through PSA, which is one of the higher end sort of valuers. Authenticators. We flipping. Zach says 5K. That would be nice, but I don't expect it to go that high. I'd like to get between 1 and 2, and if I could get between 1 and 2, I'd be obviously I'd be stoked.
What does it cost to get authenticated?
I think it cost me about 120 all up. I think, including shipping both ways, because you have to pay shipping both ways. Yeah, and so I'm $150 into it, really. Anything above that, it's gold, really.
Money bags coming your way.
We've also been asked to go on a channel in mid-May, and that item will be very helpful for that. So I won't go into too much more detail about that, but yeah, it'll play into our favor when we head over there. So I'm going to hang on to it until at least then.
Oh, that's good. Hopefully those dogs aren't too loud.
That's all right.
All right, well, let's go on to the next little question. What does the future of reselling look like after the restrictions are eased?
I think there'll be a lot of resellers rushing out the door and almost drooling to get in, I reckon. I reckon there'll be a lot of stock around. That's one thing that I think will happen.
You think?
Yeah, definitely. Because just like there's a lot of people cleaning out their houses at the moment, and a lot of them are like, I know that Zach put out an ad the other day on Facebook, and he had like 12 or 15 people contact him within the first hour of him doing it. So I think definitely there's going to be a lot of stock around because people are going to donate the stuff that they've cleaned out the house with. And then I think you're also going to have like the businesses that haven't been able to open their doors for 3-4 months. One or two things, either unfortunately close or have to get rid of a lot of their stock that's not current season because we're going to be into winter soon. So
yeah,
could see some really good stuff at op shop thrift stores. So
what do you think about the actual chains adapting? Do you think they're going to take more of their business online in light of this as well?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I think Australia is always a little bit behind the eight ball and that sort of stuff, but I think you're going to see it because it's a safety net, really, isn't it? Because you look at, like you're saying before, like a lot of our sales are up, and online is the future, really, because brick and mortar is so expensive to have as an overhead. So, yeah, I don't know. I think they will move to it. It's just I don't know how they'd obviously run their own stores, I'd say.
Yeah, I think this actually, for once being in WA, it might work in my favour rather than wait a while. It looks like, there's talk of them potentially easing the restrictions here at some point before the other states. So, yeah, maybe I'll be able to get out and actually do a bit of thrifting.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about that, them trying that here as well, because I think like SAWA and Tasmania are three of the states that are sort of on the lower end of the scale. I think there's a risk that they go too early though, and then they just offer up, start spreading around again. Yeah, Jazz is packaging at the moment out the back there, doing some work while I'm.
I couldn't even hear anything, so that's all good. I think
Rob's
Toby is saying don't fart too loudly, Jazz. Drew saying he's going to drive down to South Australia to clean out savers.
Luck with that, mate. I'll get him to lock you out.
Hello, Death by Glamour, and we got Rob here as well. Rob, I was saying I sold a Fremantle Guernsey today for $75.
He probably
an away white one. It's not even signed or anything. It was sort of blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah, I can't remember who. Someone else sold one recently too for good money. So
yeah, I've got a signed one from around 2003 with Pavlich on it, which is probably worth a little bit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's just been sitting on it. What else we got here? Robbie Hollywood into the chat.
It just reminds me like a Pokemon reference. It's like a wild rubber pad.
Oh, welcome back, Aussie Thrifter. How did the move go? Hopefully you made it there in one piece.
Yeah, I think she's down now, stomping ground now, SA.
Yeah. More competition.
Yeah, there's a fair bit down here now. They always get paid out because they don't reckon we have enough. But I met 2 or 3 guys recently that are doing it, and yeah, there's quite a lot of people down here at the moment doing it. So it's all right. We can all share. There's a fair bit around. So
I'm sure there's plenty around. Rob saying don't sell Pav. It is not a Pav player issue, unfortunately, but. Yeah, it's got a few signatures on it. I can send you some photos if you're interested.
Cara says, fight me, SA resellers. She can be like our security, I reckon. She can take people out.
Even when things open up, are you guys going to be taking any extra precautions when you're heading out?
I think it depends on how early it opens. Like, if it's soon, then I'll definitely be wary of what I'm doing. But I don't know. It's so hard to say. Like SA, we're pretty lucky at the moment in that the cases we have here is quite contained in where they were picked up. So I don't really feel like there's a huge risk there unless some more people bring it in from interstate. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be cautious. Like I'm always, when we went to the post office the other day, I actually had to take a sack trolley, and luckily enough, I had the sack trolley behind me, so no one can get close to me anyway. This is my social distancing technique.
It's a good one. What else we got here? Brad rocking the Megadeth shirt.
Yeah, I picked this one up from Kiddo Hustle. Yeah, we did a swap. So he took a really awesome shirt off me. Actually, it was I can't remember what it was now. I have to look it up. Give me a sec.
Is he still reselling? I haven't seen much of his stuff.
Yeah, he's still got a store. It was a Pantera, so it was a double-sided, all-over print Pantera shirt, vintage. I had it up for $240, and he contacted me, and I had offers around the 200 mark, and he contacted me. He's like, "Dude, I want that shirt. Like, what can we do to get it?" So he gave me this one and another one that I've got out there, a long sleeve that I haven't worn yet. So yeah. Look, he got a really good deal on it, but I don't mind. He's probably going to rock it in one of the videos, which would be sweet on one of his music videos. So,
yeah, true. He's been going well, actually.
Yeah,
you know what I've got? I've got a single stitch white tiger from Florida. I can't believe it hasn't actually sold before the Tiger King.
Yeah,
going on. So, I'm wondering if I might stick that up on Insta.
Put Tiger King in the title.
Yeah.
Definitely
try a raffle or something maybe as well. Aussie Thrifters going mental in this lockdown. I think we all are. It's it's dragging on a little bit. All the SA resellers are having a showdown.
I reckon we should probably do a meetup down here when this is all over, because there's I know at least 15 or 20 that sort of talk to myself or Cara pretty regularly, so you could have a decent meetup.
So Cara's saying I feel like you're just as likely to get it from a supermarket.
Yeah, that's probably more dangerous than the supermarket, because thrift store, not as many people go in there, and they're not all mulling around, they're sort of in and out, whereas a shop, like a grocery store, you're in there for quite a while, the aisles are quite slim, so you can't really, if you have to walk past someone in an aisle, you can't be 1.5 meters away from them, otherwise you'd be standing on top of the rack. So
I've just been holding my breath.
I'm trying to be pick the aisles when there's been no one down them and stuff, but we've just been doing small shops, grabbing bits and pieces as we do the post office and stuff.
I'm a little bit surprised they haven't actually pushed out the online deliveries again. Put some more resources into that to help with social distancing.
I know that they sort of focused it on the people in need, the older generation or people that couldn't go out for the illnesses they had or whatever. So yeah,
he's going to be pushing people out of the way.
I have no doubt. He'll be climbing over people getting there. I reckon. I'm getting pretty.
We're far enough away that we won't get on top of each other.
Oh.
Toby's saying he's got corona. He's talking about beers in his fridge. Big group and get the good stuff. Pantera.
That's a really nice shirt. I might post a pic of it on Insta later, just as a memory, because it's insane. I picked it up locally in a big deal that I did, and it was the coolest shirt. All
right, let's talk about wholesale lots.
Yeah.
This is a little bit intriguing for me. So I saw your post on Insta and ran some numbers in my head and realized that there was still a decent amount of meat left on that bone, so to speak. So, tell me a little bit more about that, because it really caught me off guard about why you were doing it, particularly when you could sell it yourself,
Yeah, we'd been talking to a couple people about it recently. So there was one in particular, Sam Hammock Hustler. She bought a whole bunch when they initially came out because she travels a lot. and she actually got quite a bit from SA when we picked up a bit, and she sold through a lot of hers. So it all started because we were talking to her about it, and she's like, "Oh, I wish I could get my hands on some more." And I was like, "Well, I've got what 800-900 pairs sitting in my shed." And, you know, I got them at a decent price that I felt like I could, you know, wholesale and make a little bit of money for us and then leave enough on the bone for like you said, the other end. And she actually had a shirt that I really wanted. So we did a bit of a part trade for some stock. And then she's like, "Oh, if you're going to sell some, like, let me know and I'll grab some off you." So that was kind of the catalyst of it. And then I was just like, well, you know what, I've got so much in the shed. Yeah, I can tick it over, and, you know, it does not really bother me because I don't have a lot of money in it. But, you know, there's a lot of people that are struggling to find stuff at the moment. And it's for me to clear some space in the shed for if I do another bulk deal or something like that, I've got a bit more room. And I sort of thought, you know, 100 pairs I can get rid of pretty easily. I'll make a little bit of cash on it myself. The other person on the other end coming into winter should be able to make some cash. And yeah, I just thought it was a good time to do it. And, you know, I think it's a bit of a win-win for everyone, really, because, you know, they're hard to find. Like, you don't find newer tags RM Williams stuff very often.
No.
And yeah, it's been snapped up. I've only got about 14 pairs left, I think, and I have someone that's been messaging me about grabbing the last 14. So I wanted to keep it pretty tight. I didn't want to flood the market with it, so I thought that was a good number to start with. And who knows, like, we may offer it again in the future, but I definitely want to make sure that the people that have got them, you know, are happy with what they got and are able to sell some through before I sort of go out and sell any more. So I guess I wanted to be really open with people and say, like, you know, these are the sizes that we've got. This has sort of been our sell-through rate. This is your, you know, projected profit if you sell them at between $70 and $80, which is pretty much the hot spot. We've sold them up to 90, to be honest, but I think that 75 is probably the hot spot. And even at that, you're sort of making between $28 and $30. So that's a decent return on a wholesale lot.
Absolutely. Is it something that you guys might look to do with other items as well when things do open back up?
I don't really have anything else that I got at a cheap enough rate to be able to do that. So we were lucky with the RM stuff that we got into it at a price that allowed me to do wholesale and leave enough on the other end for someone else. I was actually considering contacting my contact. If this last lot sells out in the next day, which I think it will, and then if we potentially do another one in about 2 months' time, and that goes pretty quick, I know that they've got more sitting in their actual stores, so I might be able to contact them and get more if I really, really want to. But I've still got a lot out there, so it's not like it's, you know, it's not a huge loss for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know, if I can give a little bit out to the community that have supported us and they can make a bit of money on there, and then I'm more than happy to do that. So it just worked out well for everyone, I think.
Yes, it's perfect timing to do something like that.
Yeah. And I think I was a bit nervous to do it because I was like, you know, wholesale is a bit tricky and you want to make sure that the people on the other end are feeling like they got a good deal. So like I said, I tried to give as much information as I could to the people buying so they knew what they're getting into. But like I said, if you can make 100% ROI on wholesale, you're doing quite well.
Oh, absolutely. It appears that everyone's got tattoos of bands, which is quite strange.
I don't have any tattoos, but I would like one. When I was younger, I actually wanted a really big back piece, and I don't know if you know the scales of justice. You know, like the sort of the court, like picture of the scales, and they sort of balance out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I wanted that on my back because I was always a big believer in, like, you know, what goes around comes around, and, you know, if you treat people well, they'll treat you back well and stuff like that. So I always wanted something like that. I'm kind of glad that I didn't get it because it would have been a massive piece, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, that would have been really cool.
Toby's got a tattoo as well. Hello to Gary as well. I saw you before.
Hey, Gary, good to see you.
Yeah.
Jazz does have one. Jazz has one.
A tramp stamp.
Not a tramp stamp. She has a little bee on her arm. Her mum and her sister all went and got like insects when Jazzy's sister was moving overseas. And Jazzy really likes bees, so she's got a little one on her arm.
So I've got a couple, one on this arm, and then I've got a shoulder piece here, which is some art from Diablo 3, the game.
Oh yeah,
still a work in progress, but
I like all that sort of like, especially now as well, because I'm getting into like a lot of vintage shirts and stuff. I'm like really loving all the like this nostalgic sort of sleeves, like Diablo 3, and like you see a lot of guys getting around like Pokemon. I don't think I'd get Pokemon, but some other stuff I'd really like Space Jam and stuff like that. But I don't know how long it goes, like how long I'll be happy with it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it's something that when I'm 40 or 50, I'll be like, oh, that's still cool. So I don't know.
Know what you mean. All right, let's go on to number 4. Why did that not come up? Any gems of wisdom from the previous few weeks?
I've had a few returns, but I think that's based on the uptick in sales as well. So I think people are sort of buying a little bit out of haste as well. Like I've had 2 returns where they actually just bought the wrong thing. And I'm like, well, like, don't you check that? Like some lady bought one of those counterpoints for Weight Watchers, the calculators, but she wanted a different one. And I was like, well, the photos are there. It's in the description. You saw what you're buying. Like, you know, maybe pay a bit more attention. And the same with a toner cartridge. They bought a drum cartridge, which it clearly said drum cartridge, but they wanted the toner. And I was like, well, like now I have to return that, pay you the money where it's your mistake. So I think my pearl of wisdom with that would be is don't take it on board too much, because I had a look at it today and we've only had 9 returns out of the last 623 sales, which is like 1.24% or something. So it's very small, and you just got to try and look at it, I think, in an isolated sense, in that, you know, we had 2 or 3 the last few days, but we hadn't had one for 2 months. So I don't know. I think it's just you got to take the whole situation into consideration, not just that isolated incident, because that's what you get caught up on. You don't get caught up on every single sale you go, because you just send it out and it's done. But the ones that come back, you're like, damn, why is that coming back?
I've been pretty lucky lately. I sold a Sims game 3 times this week. I had 2 cancellations. Same thing. I didn't mean to buy this game, and then 3rd time lucky. But prior to that, I haven't had a return, touch wood, for a good couple of months, and it was my mistake when I had it as well. So I'm going all right so far. What about any changes to overall strategies? Have you done anything different since we last chatted?
I wouldn't say different. We've just been listing a death pile. Jazzy's been smashing through that because she's not working. So Jazzy's probably taken on a good 80% of the eBay stuff at the moment, I think. And I've sort of been doing like video content and my day job. But yeah, we've been going through our stock and making sure it's listed. We found a couple items in tubs that hadn't been listed, so we relisted those. Been taking better photos of older stuff just to try and get them out the door. I've been running a few auctions as well, try something different. On some of my higher end items that had a lot of watches. But yeah, I had some success with that, and I've got 4 that are going to go this. I think it's Saturday or Sunday they ended, and there's some good watches on that, so I reckon that'll go well.
Any sales or anything like that? Promotions?
I'm not running sales. I don't tend to run sales. I figure that promoting is a lot better. Getting trolled in the chat here by Kara and Look Mum. To be fair, I'm working a day job here. Give me a break.
True.
I forgot what I was saying. Promoted. So I've been running some different stuff on promoted. Been testing some new stuff, and it seems to be really working. I want to try it for a couple more weeks before I sort of, let everyone know exactly what I'm doing, because I think everyone's store is different, and as soon as we say something and someone else has a different experience, it's like people want to fault you for it. So I like to test everything pretty thoroughly before saying anything.
So I decided to run a sale on books, and particularly to try and move ones that were over $25, $30. So I ran a 30% off, which has helped move a lot of stock. There's been a couple where I've actually like broken even, and one where I've even lost just a slight amount of money, but it was good to free up that space as well.
Yeah, that's one big thing, is we have been taking a lot of offers and sending out a lot of offers just to get space back. Like you can see behind me, those shelves are a lot emptier than they usually are on that side. Cleared some stuff out of there.
Is that a leverage game you still got there?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if that one's complete, because I reckon I got 3, and I sent one to, I think it was Trent with cash flow, and I made sure that one had all its pieces. So I think I pilfered some out of that one. So I might just have to sell it incomplete, or just donate it or something. I don't know.
So anyone in the chat or anyone who watches this later, I am looking for the cash flow game, cash flow for kids. Obviously, I'm not going to pay retail when I can probably find it myself at some point. But if you do happen to find it and want to move it on at a win-win price, so to speak, let me know and we can do a deal.
I think that's a great thing about the eBay community, like the reseller community, is like myself and Jada pretty much just traded stuff the other day. Like he sent me a shirt, and I'm going to send him some figurines and stuff. So you can kind of do that sort of stuff because you're not buying in at high pricing. So it's nice to do.
We've kind of done the same thing as well with the bootleg Nintendo stuff and the mini jumper.
Yeah.
The mini jumper.
Yeah, it's good to do it. And when you find those unique items, like I think most of us, like we kind of understand the market and stuff, and you don't mind like dropping a bit off to sell it local, like to a reseller. But obviously the reseller on the other end, a lot of the time knows the value in it as well. So they're sort of happy to kind of, pay fair money. Yeah. I know on that that Mickey jumper, I was happy to take less, but you wouldn't you wouldn't go any. You wanted to pay what you thought it was worth. So
yeah. We'll just jump into the chat for a sec. So Rob's saying breaking news: he's ordered AFL Evolution 2 for the PS4, and he's challenging Brad. He doesn't say which Brad.
I think he's challenging me because I suck. I have it. I've played it a little bit, but I can't. I like it, but I can't get into it. And I played online and got flogged.
Gary's saying $100 for an AFL game. This just reminds me of a conversation I had today with a guy at work. He's been trying to buy a Nintendo Switch.
Crazy.
He can't. They're all sold out everywhere and on back order until the end of May.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
And even the ones on Facebook that are there are pumped right up. So, you can't get them unless you want to pay stupid money.
$84, Rob says. Death by Glamour. I did my first online sourcing this week and ordered a blind box of clothing and shoes. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see.
Yeah, live unboxing.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Huh, Toby needs some fish tank stuff, apparently.
Yeah, I got some in the shed. I think he was asking for some... I think Jazz was trying to split him on. I can't remember what he was after.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I actually bought Monopoly on the Switch today. Half price, $25.
We've been playing a bit of PS4 lately, but actually none this week, but last week I was smashing it.
Tell me, Toby, chuck this in the chat. Why is the Animal Crossing worth so much money on the Switch? I don't understand it. The one I saw was like $85. Didn't make any sense at all. All right, let's go for number 5. Favorite item listed from the death pile.
I've had a few really good sales actually from the death pile. My favorite has to be that Zelda game that we shipped to the US for $900. Because that was literally sitting in a box that I picked up a while back. I'd been talking to Game On about it because I didn't know enough about it, and there wasn't anything on the market even close to it because they don't come up very often. They're the Nintendo disc games. So firstly, they were very limited run, mostly in Japan. Very rare. That was new and sealed and graded. But I had no idea what to put it at because there was just no comps. There's nothing around. So we put it up for $1,200 initially and didn't get any offers. And then we put it on auction. And as soon as I put it on auction, I put it up for $800 auction, got a $700 offer, and went back at $900, and he took it. So I was happy to get $900 for it. Something that just been sitting in a box.
Absolutely. I've got a couple of those actually. Here, I've got a whole box full of posters I got from a Salvos one day where they were marked between $2 and $8. They're all vintage, like fantasy ones.
Yeah.
End up getting the whole. They were in a like a shopping basket type thing for $25. I got them home. There's 93 of them, all still sealed. So it works out to be about 25 cents each or something. And I still haven't listed them.
I've actually got. I actually don't even know where it is at this point in time. But I actually I have the Nintendo disc system that you play those games on, and in the box, which is like really, really rare. But I can't test it properly because I don't have all the stuff for it. So I don't want to sell it because I don't want someone to say it's not working. So I need to work out how to deal with that because you can't even get the cords and stuff for it because it's so
rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I end up. So Aussie Thrifters just saying she's looking for horror posters. Jazz has got a memory like a goldfish.
I'm struggling with that. Everything. So.
Kara's saying you need to play The Sims. You should be okay with that because I know you've got a heap of them. Okay, that makes a bit more sense.
Oh God!
Yes, you absolutely should do that.
That could get dangerous. Yeah, we did find a wetsuit and a really good one. It was an orca, which is.
Are you saying that it's in your death pile?
Yeah, it was in a death pile. And brand new with tags. I didn't even realize when I picked it up it was brand new with tags.
Yeah, it's funny like that. I've got a whole bunch of cameras sitting behind me, like all vintage ones. That's probably $500-$600 worth. Just sitting there that I've like pulled out of various boxes as I've been going along. Yeah, we'll definitely have to check that out.
Boston Celtics. I'm pretty sure it's a baseball one.
Yeah, just your baseball ones. Yeah. Red Sox.
It's pretty cool though. Found that at Savers too, actually. Found some crazy stuff in our death pile. Just like I didn't even remember getting it.
All right, well, that leads me to number 6. Favorite item sold so far during.
Ooh. I want to find something different because I already said the best one. Let me have a look what we've sold the last few days. It's just selling like a lot of random stuff. Like,
I had the. Do you remember that card we had on the stream a couple of weeks ago? One that I had on the case.
Yeah.
Steve Walters. So I ended up selling that a couple of days ago for $75, which was quite nice.
Wow. Yeah, you can't complain with that. Hey,
it was on the way to Bunnings. It just happened to stop off and $10 cash. Here's
probably my favorite sale, and Jazz is gonna disagree because she didn't want this to sell. But is this Russ troll dolls? So he sold them in a set of 2. We picked these up a very long time ago in a garage sale for $2. They sold for $110. So the reason they sat around was because Jazzy listed them crazy high because she didn't want to get rid of them. They actually sat in our bedroom on one of the shelves the whole time. So 2 into 110. That was very nice.
Chuck some of your favorite sales into the chat, everyone, if you want.
Oh, they were Thomas Dam, not Russ. Sorry.
I actually sold a Russ one with a skateboard not long ago as well. Something I do keep an eye out for.
Yeah, because Thomas Thomas Dam was like is the original ones, the first guy that like created them, and they're worth a lot more. So they were from like the 1960s. Those ones.
Sold any random stuff?
Any what? Sorry.
Any random stuff? Like I mentioned earlier, I sold a set of buffet forks.
Yeah.
And turned
something random today. We sold a set of coasters for like they weren't much, like $15-$16, I think.
Coasters are, I reckon, a new bolo of sorts. Like I've sold a few of them. I only stick with certain patterns like farm style or things like that, but I've made some decent money.
Oh, here they're going to show up. Cooper's beer. It's got like all the coasters from all the different beers on it. Sold for $39, and we only had it listed for like a day.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's random.
Gary's saying you sold 7 Guitar Hero guitars over Easter, which
he's been smashing it. He passed
breaks my heart because I have about 5 sitting next to me at this very moment.
Get them up.
Yeah, I have to. What else do we have? Of course, I've sold all my puzzles bar one.
We're out now. Wow.
Best excavators and electrical part for $7.50 plus postage. That's awesome.
Look at Judder's sale there. That's a good sale.
PSP 929 is pretty good. That must have had some gains with it, surely. VHS for $25. Free is always good. Where was Judder's one?
Down near the bottom. St. Kilda Seacom.
Oh, Seacom.
It's $250 into $245. Wow. That market, like Brad knows that market so well. I was talking to him about it the other night, and it's just something that you have to know. Like it's very hard to acquire that knowledge. You have to do a lot of research to understand all the different jumpers, all the different years, all the different makes. So it's got a very niche market there, and he does really well off it.
There's some real helpful people out there, particularly in some of like the Facebook groups that will help you out.
Yeah, Judd is, he's pretty open with it, but obviously he wants to get them for himself as well because he's a big collector. So it's pretty hard for him, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in the process of trying to do up my wanted ad for Facebook and Gumtree, etc. And I'm going to base it off my business card anyway. Probably can't really see much of that, but
I'm
going to use some of that. But I actually want to start trying to build like a collection of fighting fantasy books and a few other bits and pieces that I'll build into the ad as well, because I want it to come across as I am trying to both resell stuff and build a collection. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's a hard dynamic, isn't it? I sort of got ads out on gaming stuff, and I do the same because obviously I collect N64, NES, and SNES, so I try and build my collection. But then you get the guys that are real funny about that sort of stuff, and they'll just troll you. Like I got this guy that sent me a bunch of NES, a random box of NES, and I couldn't tell how much was in there or what any of the games were because they're all from the top view. And he said, "Oh, how much will you offer me?" And I threw him a price, and he's like, "You're dreaming." And I was like, "What do you want from? Like, I can't tell what they are. You're not sending me any good photos. Like, tell me what's there." And he's like, "Nah." I was like, "What do you want from me? You're gonna send me shit photos. I'm gonna give you a shit price." Like,
Gary's saying he has some Mambo drink coasters. Been pretty interesting, actually. Can't say I've seen them before. Yeah, send me some pics too, Gary, of the coasters.
Clarify that.
Yeah. I've just got that Mambo shirt sitting in my eBay room. I'm assuming you're talking about the one that you bought with the bushfire relief.
Yeah.
Sold a mug. I have not sold any mugs. Brad saying he's always happy to help.
He's very
believe that for sure. Can't say I've picked many up lately. I've sold all the Guernseys that I have, except for the Pav one that's not listed.
I don't see many down here. Like obviously I see a bit of Crows and Port stuff, but nothing like of any value. Like I pick up some of the older style the older style Vivid like polos and stuff. But other than that, I don't see much at all. Can you get out of the way?
Been in the store for a while. Toby's just clarifying there. Guernseys. Coasters. Yep, the $500 one. Hey, Cat.
What?
Right. So this next topic is straight from way left field.
Oh. No.
The push-up challenge.
That sentence in itself is a challenge for me. Like doing a push-up is a challenge rather than the push-up challenge. Because you're talking to me about this the other day, and
yep.
I guarantee you it's not happening for me. I might be able to do like 10 a day, but you were talking about like 100 a day or something, weren't you?
Yeah, so what it is I actually came across this in my Insta feed in a sponsored listing the other day. So there it is, completing 3,046 push-ups in 21 days to raise awareness.
In 21 days?
Mental health, yep.
That's like 150 a day. Wow.
Well, there you go, Toby. Here's one for you. Too easy. I agree. Fully too easy.
Did you see his IG story, though?
I think it was 10.
He put his phone up against the wall and pretended to do push-ups against the wall and then dropped his hands out and was doing like the... Yeah. He was a cheeky boy.
It does say, Toby, you can do them on your knees if you need to as well. So
I still wouldn't be able to do it.
Against the wall. But the number there, 3,046, is the amount of people that actually committed suicide in 2018, which
it's pretty serious, isn't it? Like it's fun for me to joke about not being able to do push-ups, but that topic is not something to be scoffed at, because that's a lot of people that unfortunately left us for reasons that you'd hope you'd be able to prevent. So. Yeah,
so I'll put this. I've already made the team. So if you want to join, you can. I'm going to do it anyway. So I don't really mind if people don't want to join, or if they want to contribute later. It doesn't start till the 11th of May, so there is a bit of time to prepare as such.
That's huge.
And yeah, hopefully a few people might get motivated. I know, we've talked about this before, that there is a bit of an undercurrent of some of that within the reselling community, and I've had struggles myself with drinking and smoking over the years, and I've gone up and down and relapsed several times. It took me five times to quit smoking, and I've quit drinking for a year before. So I think it's a good thing to do. So if you are,
definitely. There's many ways to support as well. So, that's one good option. But even just getting the message out there is a good support. Just telling people where to go and how to find help and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, a bit of a random topic, but it's something you'll see me doing over the next 21 days, starting 11th of May.
You have guns of steel by the time you've done that.
Yeah, you'd like to think so. It's a added bonus of it, I suppose. So if you do want to use that link in the chat, the code word to join the team is retro. And I think you can also donate through this one if you want. So I've set the target at $1,000 for the team. So yeah, that is the target. For all the donations go to Headspace, the National Headspace.
Gary will smash that. Gary's a bit of a fitness freak, you see.
Gary, it sort of says that you can do it. You don't have to do it all in one go, obviously. So you do, 15 here and 30 there, etc., etc.
From what I've seen of Gary, anyway, I wouldn't challenge him. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Kara's saying I have anxiety and depression, not afraid to talk about it. If anyone needs a chat, I'm always here. Yeah. Aussie Thrifter. Same. Yeah, same thing. If anyone ever needs to talk or wants to have an informal chat, feel free. Yes, being in isolation is not helping at all.
I think it goes like one of two ways. Like you either really love it or you struggle with it. So I know at the moment Jazzy's enjoying like not having to go out and do stuff. And I think that comes down to how hard her work was over the last sort of 3 to 4 months though. So I think it's good for her to have some home time.
Yeah, absolutely. Death by Glamour, Black Hearts. Yep.
I did the opposite and hit my highest number. I thought it was like a high score type of game, right? That's how that works.
Yeah, I've been doing keto for the last couple of months, and then the last week and a bit, I've just had like a big blowout, like drinking wine every night and eating pizza, and got back on the wagon again.
I think sometimes like you do need to give yourself a break as well, like especially with I don't know. Like, exercise, like you get in those routines and it becomes a habit. But I think anyone that does exercise ongoing, there's a point in time where they've, gone backwards for a little while at least. I don't think anything is possible to sustain like to a high level for a huge amount of time.
Toby's saying he's hit his lowest number on the scales this morning.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll look for your name in the team list there, Tobes. Gary's saying exercise helping my mental health 1,000%.
Yeah.
100% agree. And I would add probably just getting outside and getting some sunshine as well, vitamin D. It's easy to avoid everyone and everything. Kara's on the get thick diet.
Story of my life.
Yeah, sport's something that like I've always played a lot of team sports growing up, and it's something I was thinking about earlier today. It'd be good to do some of that again, but I just got to wait. Did keto for a while, Frank. Didn't see it as sustainable long term. Yeah, I kind of agree, and I've been trying to work in some what they call carb refeeds. So every month or so, I'll have a bit of a carb binge and sort of reset that as well. But
I think it depends on who you talk to, obviously. But I think there's some people out there that say that your body actually needs a bit of a carb feed to do that. To like if you're in the same sort of eating pattern over time, you're not shocking your body to lose weight. Like, you know what I mean? You get that really good kick out of the start of it and lose a ton of weight, and then you sort of plateau again. So, yeah, I'd like to try keto, but I'm shocking at keeping track of that sort of stuff. Like,
I'm halfway through a book called Boundless by Ben Greenfield at the moment. He's got a lot of stuff on YouTube and marathoner, been around for many years now, and he's got some like good resources if anyone's sort of looking for that sort of stuff. But everyone's saying that keto is tough to sustain. It really is, but I don't know. Like I think I'm able to do intermittent fasting on it, where I never can with eating carbs.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. We've got someone at work that I work pretty closely with, and she does it. And that's what she said. Like after the first sort of 3 to 4 days, like she was craving carbs the first 3 to 4. Yeah. And then she's like, I'm barely hungry now. Like I'll eat for the sake of filling my body, but I rarely feel hungry.
Yeah, I don't know how people do like the week-long fast and stuff. I'm not sure I could do that ever, but yeah. Gary saying, have you heard of the carnivore diet? Isn't that what Rowley Roots was doing?
Yeah, Ryan and Ali were doing that. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they were doing it when we spoke to them. They swore by it though, so I don't know. I'm no expert in that area, so.
All right. Well, does anyone else have any other questions? We've already been going for 55 minutes already.
Goes quick, hey?
It does.
How you been coping with everything? Like you got a young family, and yeah, like how are you going in these times?
It's pretty tough. I haven't had a lot of sleep in the last week, to be honest.
Yeah.
Little Bubba's going through teething, and yeah, the wife's not getting a lot of sleep as well. And then, of course, trying to fit work on there. And like
Yeah.
I've done, yeah, probably my average amount of reselling hours already this month. I've done eight for packing and 8 for listing, just in the last couple of weeks.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm hanging in there. I'm doing all right.
I think my biggest struggle is not being able to source like that. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm getting to the stage now where if it goes like another couple of months, I will actually run out of stuff to list. But I'm getting to the back end where I've got a lot of high dollar value stuff as well, like shoes and things like that, which I know you guys were talking with Cara the other night, how she never used to like selling shoes, and I'm much the same. Like, yeah, I've got a few up at the moment, but it's something I really need to get cracking on.
There's like shoes is, I think, a very untapped market. Like, yeah, Kara's gone deep into the women's stuff, and I'm pretty good with men's stuff. But even then, like, there's some brands that I don't know. And if I see a different brand that I've never seen before, I always look it up just to give myself a bit of like comfort if I'm leaving it or if I need to pick it up. Like, yeah, it's always there's a lot of money in shoes. There are a lot of money in shoes.
I think maybe I just find it harder here because like a lot of the shops local don't have a huge selection. Like I
Yeah,
see Savers and that over there, where you've got like racks and racks of shoes. There's nothing like that
yeah.
anywhere close to where I live.
I think with Savers, like it's good in one way and it's bad in another because yeah, they have a lot of shoes, but they price them up. Like sometimes you're paying $20 for a pair of shoes, so you got to be selling them for like 60 to make a margin on it. Like, yeah, it's that catch-22. I love Savers because I can get in there, I can get 20, 30, 40 items at once. You know what I mean? But you can pay up for it as well. So it's that catch-22.
Yeah. Everyone's saying, what's he saying? Toby's saying, hit me up for some baby tips.
Yeah.
I think Gary is on the carnivore diet for 12 months. Wow.
Yeah.
Gary saying shoes are money. Yep. And I found these the other day.
What brand are they?
They are, what are they? MBTs.
Yeah, I've seen MBTs, but I've never sold them.
Yeah.
Oh, Gary's on a non-carnivore diet, so he's on Vans.
Disney Vans.
Yeah,
so I've got nice stuff, just got to get it up.
Where'd you pick them up from?
Good Sammys, these ones.
Get them up, they'll sell.
Yeah. I've got a bit of stuff. But
I actually really like selling shoes. Like, sometimes you get them in a bit dirty, you need to clean them up. But if you can get them clean, they're so easy to list. Like, you got the size there. A lot of them have like a coding on them, whether it be like the Nike 6-digit or if you get the art code on like Adidas and a few other brands, like they're pretty easy to comp. And usually, if you get the right stuff, you know you're going to make some good money on it. So,
Kara's saying she gets shoes $2. See, I've got one that does do shoes at $2, but they don't have a lot. And I do have a whole bunch of like 50% off Good Sammy's vouchers, but
Drew's calling me a New Balance man. That's a bit rough.
A what?
He's calling me a New Balance man.
Ooh.
That's friendship breaking there, Drew. That's rough, mate.
What shoes are you wearing then?
I rock my Nike Frees most of the time, to be honest. When I'm not at work. When I'm at work, I've got proper work shoes. But barefoot reinvestor. I am barefoot at the moment.
I've sold that book so many times.
I think Drew's got some sort of vendetta against me. He called me a New Balance man. That's a stab to the heart.
Is there any, like, obviously there's going to be a lot more people out running at the moment. Yeah. What are your sort of brands that you will pick up for like activewear?
A little bit of 2XU, Reebok sometimes, like the more of the CrossFit gear. Other brands you got in activewear, some skins depending on the model, or Nike obviously. Some stuff Nike. I don't pick up a lot of Adidas unless it's really unique.
Okay.
I can't even think.
Asics,
Under Armour, that's another good one, Gary.
Asics, Mizuno.
Yeah, I don't pick up a lot of Asics unless it like I'll do it in shoes definitely, but in terms of like clothing, not so much. Fans.
Some Vans. Yeah, I'm slowly building my own Vans collection at the moment.
I actually had a really cool collection of high tops like 3-4 years ago. I had some pretty rare ones, and I've actually sold most of them because I don't wear them anymore. That's not my style. But I had a really nice collection of high tops. Most were Nikes, and they were, I got some pretty nice ones. G-Unit.
$200 Asics gels.
Carnos must be.
Yeah, I always look out for the Mizuno Waves, because I used to do a lot of running in them, and I've found a few pairs of those. So
yeah, in shoes, like you want your top end Mizuno, Brooks. We saw some Brooks for good money. Asics Kano, Nimbus. There's another one called Kinzai, which are like rarer, and they're like about $280 new, I think. Keep an eye out for those; they sell well.
What are they called?
Asics King's-Eye. Yeah, they're only in certain shops. Like I think Foot Locker have them, but they're more of like more an exclusive one. Jeffrey
Campbell's women's shoes. Maybe Drew's wearing some right now.
Yeah. There's so many good pairs of shoes. Like anything with Vibram on the sole, look it up. Like if you can get Vibram on the sole, you're usually in money. Keens do real well.
Custom. Cineplex boys. All right. Well, we've been going an hour already. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about, or any other questions for you?
It's good to come back on. Are you going to sort of be back on?
I was going to do daily, and I was doing it for a while, and it sort of caused a little bit of angst, I suppose, within the family. It just takes up a bit of time, like even with 10 minutes prep or whatever, it's still half an hour a day.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to cut it back to, I think, once a week.
Yeah, no, I think that's good.
And carry on.
So if anyone wants to jump on with Frank, let him know. Be nice to get some little round tables together soon, I think. So there's a lot of knowledge in the chat and a lot of people that know what they're doing.
Yeah, even just like the shoes then. Like there's, a couple of minutes and we've probably given me 8 or 9 ideas in a couple of minutes that I wouldn't have even thought of. So particularly if those new niches, like the ones that you don't frequent very often, I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
It's going to be, I'm really excited to see, like, as hard as it is right now for resellers in terms of finding stuff, once this is all done, I think we're all going to be pretty happy with what we can find. So Zach's happy to jump on. That's cool. Be good to see Zach. He's so busy and stuff. Like, don't get to see him a lot in lives, but he's definitely got some knowledge behind him. So definitely good to have him.
Zach would be perfect, really. Obviously with Lucy and trying to work in. I'm sure I can find several questions about how to fit that into life in general, particularly with reselling. Like she's getting a lot more mobile now. She's almost crawling, and won't be long till she's running around. So I'm sure Zach could give me a few pointers for sure.
I don't know how you boys do it, to be honest.
Well, it's getting easier slowly.
Yeah, it's just one of those things you sort of pick up as you go, I think, and try to do your best.
Zach saying perfect. Here to here. Yeah, cool. We'll sort it out maybe next week sometime. That suits. Sounds good. And I do like your idea for the round table. I mean, when we doing that, like right at the start, we had who was it? I can't remember his name now. It's been so long. The original Facebook group creator.
Oh, Cam.
Cam, yeah. Cam was doing those sort of round tables all the way back when, and I thought they were really good.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into some this year. Like we've done a lot of the one-on-one stuff, but it'd be good to get like a pool of people together and, you know, talk about specific subjects and knowledge bases and stuff like that, because there's so much like cross-learning that can happen in our community. And, you know, obviously people share as much as they can, but not everyone has YouTube channels and not everyone, you know, is on Instagram all the time. So there's plenty of knowledge that, you know, is there that is untapped, really.
Yeah, that's true. I know Daily Refinement, I watch quite a bit of his stuff when I get the time to. He does mentor groups that people have to pay for, of course, but at the moment I think he's still doing them for free till the end of April.
Yeah, right.
Don't quote me to it, but he has like, I think it's about 6 or 8 people in at once. And yeah, obviously some of them are different levels of experience, but even in a group setting like that, I think there's a lot of ideas that people can bounce off each other, systems and, you know, things to look out for, brands.
Oh, definitely. Like the more you can help each other, especially in this game, the more you're going to benefit, because everyone knows something different. And it's such a wide, like such a vast space. Like you're never going to know everything. So you're definitely.
I think it's ever changing too. Like I know I mentioned the other day on your guys' live that, you know, it's a retirement plan. Well, for me, it is anyway. And wow, I'm only 37 at the moment. There's still a long way to go. So 30 years is going to be a completely different landscape altogether. So you've got to keep, you know, learning as you go.
Got to keep rolling.
Saying burgers are cute but scary. Is there bear at this table?
There sure can be, Jar. There can
be for sure. Toddlers, nightmare, random shit fits, and zero patience. Yep. I've got a good amount of patience. It takes quite a bit to get me rolled up. And, you know, you see like those videos of like kids chucking things on the floor, like a fork, for example, and then they pick it up and they do it again and then again. And so I've done a bit of learning about, well, what I hope will help me later and things like that. Like if you think of it from their point of view, they're not necessarily doing it to piss you off, just to try and test it. That is what the world is. You know, if I do it again, is the same thing going to happen?
I don't know if I could cope with it.
Toby's got a fresh carton ready. Judd is in.
Damn.
Daily Refinement. Yep. Yeah. That is the one.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if he can join as such, but I know that he was doing like the full replays of each session, so they're like an hour, I think, each day. So there is all of April that will be up there for the moment.
Yeah, there was a couple Aussie streams with Daily Refinement early. He was going to do one with a few others, but I don't think it never went ahead the last one. So.
Jazz is saying, got to adapt, stop buying Cam Duncan.
Yeah. Sold our last one the other day, thankfully.
Yeah, I'm all out too now, which is good. I will buy some more if I do see them for $2 or $3, but for personal use only.
Yeah, I don't think something like this is hopefully ever going to come around again for a long time. So
yeah,
wait till they chuck a bowl.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a few days like that for sure.
That sounds like when I chuck a tantrum.
I like to think I'm prepared, but I know I'm totally not.
Oh, I honestly, like, the people with kids in the chat and even outside the chat, like you guys, I don't know how you do it. Like I really, really don't. You're a better human than me.
Well, I thought we had it down like the last couple of weeks. She's been sleeping pretty good through the night, and then the last couple of nights she's been up at 3 o'clock in the morning again, and like she's learned how to start sort of screaming. I'm not going to say screaming, but making like quite loud sounds that you just cannot ignore at all.
Crazy.
Yeah, fun times.
100 years.
100 years. 100 years what? Clarify that for us, Zach.
We never got 3 warnings. We got 2, and on the 3rd we're in real shit.
Yeah. All right, well, I better leave it there anyway, because I can actually hear the bubba starting to cry in the other room. So I better go and help the missus out with that. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for coming, hanging out with us.
See you on the next one.
Catch you later. Thanks for having me, Frank.
You're most welcome. Thanks for coming along.